Zachariah sort of...
We... Could you at least bring us something to eat and drink? I think the others, looks towards them. They're not looking too well.
No, I think they're stabilized for now, but yes, you are right, they are
They will
dying.
be of no use to you, dead.
Zacharias nods. I shall arrange for some food and drink, I think. Moves down to... Look at Halleck. So he's sort of considering we should perhaps take him to the lower level, pointing at Halleck.
I think Sir Marcus can do that. Did you wish me to get a drink for...
James looks up. Just if you could help Jorgen, I would be very grateful. He seems very hurt. I don't know what happened, but
Zacharias
please.
looks over to James. Remember, James, that you are in no position at all to bargain, and that we hold all of your lives in our hands.
So I'm pleading.
Zacharias nods. Good. Also remember that useful things have a place with us in our organization, and being useful is the best thing you can do to stay alive. He smiles. He looks at Azurius. Master Azurius, would you deign to save this dwarf?
I could. Zero steps forward, kneels down, taps the dwarf with a minor healing for 8 points. As you see some very minor magic flow into him. She could. She's not going to get slaughtered, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, the skeletons have been commanded to do nothing.
Cool.
The skeletons couldn't really hurt any of us, honestly.
You see Azurius just stands up and steps back as the dwarf is... his wounds are closed up enough to not be lethal now.
James doesn't really seem to know if wounds are lethal or not as such. He just looks and says, have you helped him?
He won't die from those wounds now.
Good. He's a great smith. He can do a lot of good work.
I see.
I wonder, has he any skill with magic? Creating items of power from...
I don't think so. He usually makes things for the garrison, but
He can still be of use.
Zacharias points at Jorgen the Smith and looks at Marcus. Did you sense anything from him?
I haven't yet, but I can. Is he good or chaotic?
no, neither.
Using both move actions to do it.
Yeah. He falls on neither the good or chaotic ends of the spectrum.
How academically put, Marcus. Zacharias nods. Very well, he might also be useful then. Now, Mr. Halleck, I think we need to take you downstairs. Oh, yes.
Cash would like to detect faults on James.
Currently, he seems to be service thoughts seems to be first and foremost, he's hungry and thirsty. Beyond that, he seems to be despairing, trying to find out how he can be useful. Jorgen is a smith, and he usually earns money winning fighting tournaments by knocking out his opponents and having a hearty laugh afterwards. He seems to sort of go through once when he was a child, he did some sewing, some socks, sort of trying to find some applicable skill that he could offer.
Cash will look him deeply. She'll go next to him, look him deeply in the eye, and all the thoughts he's thinking, she says out loud to the others. So she talks at the same time as his thoughts come up.
Sure. It turns into very confused and sort of afraid things.
She's reading my thoughts. Oh, help!
Oh, and Cash just saying this. Oh, she's reading my thoughts. Now she's saying that I'm reading. Or what?
It's like kind of like Stanley Parable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Marcus will kind of casually mention to Azurius that this smith here, the weapon he carried was magical. I wonder if that could kind of assist our own cause.
I don't know if he could make magical, but being able to make weapons full stop is a good start.
Of course, but
Taking time dealing of the smith.
it leads me to believe that perhaps he does have some skill with creating that. I mean, he could have always commissioned someone to create it, but if he's a smith himself, wouldn't it also be useful to
Well, I
do that on
feel
your
it's
own?
more likely that he made the weapon, but someone else put the magic on it.
Of course, you're all right, but it's a thought to consider asking later.
It is.
But why
Yeah,
would
no.
he be loyal towards us?
Well,
Because
that's
kill him if he isn't.
loyalty through fear.
That is not really a way to keep them from deceiving us.
No, I agree, and we should think up some scheme to perhaps actually bend them to our will for real. But my thought is that Halthus, the Flayer, could perhaps help us in that regard.
Yeah, you know,
Otherwise, we
Stockholm
have a
Syndrome is a
barbecue.
really powerful thing.
Indeed.
Otherwise we can have a barbecue.
And the best one at creating a Stockholm Syndrome, I think, would be Halthus.
Are we saying this in front of him?
No, this is, I think, out of character.
This is the kind of things we thought of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Zacharias will look at Halleck and look over to Marcus.
Yeah, I
Azurius.
come down as. Is he good or chaotic?
Who?
Halleck.
Halleck. He is not chaotic, but he is good.
I will relay this information.
Very well, we shall bring him downstairs.
Shall I ensure his wounds will not immediately make him die if the good torturer has time with him?
We take him downstairs first.
Very well. Marcus, you're the strongest lifter.
Uh-huh. Marcus will hoist Halleck over his shoulder,
Alright.
being careful to avoid the little spiky bits on the armor.
Oh, sorry. He's dead
My
now.
bad. Luckily, I don't think this armor actually has armor spikes on it, so wouldn't have to worry about it. And we're taking him downstairs to Halthus.
Yes. Or the,
So-
the prison downstairs, at least. Zacharias will walk out in the corridor and shout for the nearest minion.
Oh wait, I don't want to be in there when you do that.
Minion, not skeletons.
Nope,
Oh, I thought you
minion.
meant the skeletons.
Are you calling for like a bowl to be brought over so I can fill it with water?
Yeah, I'm calling for minions to bring food and water to the prisoners.
Well, at least a food and a bowl, because I can just click and the bowl fills with water.
They'll bring some whatever food is in the inn, I suppose.
Yeah, some delicious gruel.
What depends on what Kyron feels like.
But that's
I
no,
think, most,
that's
people
Kyron's
just, I
private
think
menu.
most people were served gruel. People from Kyron's group were served whatever meat Kyron felt like eating that day.
Yeah, and we get served whatever we demand.
With the food brought to them, Zacharias will put them in front of the of Jorgen the Smith and James O'Toole.
And Azurius will fill up the bowls with water.
So sort of, need to release him a hand, perhaps, or
Oh, just one hand, at least.
Yeah, we release one hand.
see as he bends down and begins to eat. So I
Enjoy.
say,
Make it-
Thank you.
Remember still that you are alive by our grace only. And, as I said, usefulness is your way out of here. Or at least to a life of service.
Just looks and sort of, thinks his food, looking at the bloody skeletons,
Mm-hmm.
pale as he is, having lost a lot of blood.
He did, but
Zacharias nods, lets him eat, and then, we'll relock the manacles.
Right.
And, or at least, you know what, he can have one hand free. I'm generous.
it's fine. He won't dare to escape anyway with skeletons around
Yeah,
him.
exactly. And he will actually leave Jorgen with one hand free also to enjoy his food. He will nod to James and say, "Oh, tell what we have told you to Jorgen when he wakes up, and we shall be with you, well, perhaps in the morning, perhaps later, perhaps when we have time."
I will, yes.
Good. Very well then.
You see Azurius waiting by the prison door to close it. Lady Cash. She walks through the bars.
Yep.
She can walk through walls.
Azurius will close the bars, close like the gate, lock it, move around. Release the skeletons.
Alright, Zacharias looks at the skeleton, defend its place, and then he closes the door.
Azurius will lock the door.
I doubt they're gonna help us when they found out what happened to Bianca.
Oh,
Well. She died in battle, not by prison.
indeed. Well, let's go down and have a talk to the dear leader, shall we?
Yay!
Going down,
Poof.
an elevator ride down.
Basically, yes.
I guess I know what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Open the door.
Oh,
Any of you be joining me in here?
Me.
I'm the one. I'm not going in. I don't think.
Well,
I can stand outside and look intimidating.
Lady Cash, you may have your daggers out if you wish.
Oh,
It's intimidating.
She. Well, I think she's intimidating without the dagger since she's
True.
a dark elf.
Marcus will have his arms crossed and his helmet visor down.
Azurius will do his normal heal the prisoners act. He'll probably still be asleep, but I'll heal him for 10 damage. There you go. His wounds are once again not very lethal. Well, actually quite lethal, but not enough to die. Do you wish me to wake him?
Hey, he's coming.
Just looking from around the corner.
Reaver.
Sir Rafe, would you like me to wake him?
Yes, please.
How many gallons shall I make?
Don't.
I mean, we could just hit him to wake him up, but...
1 gallon should probably suffice.
Very well. I create 1 gallon of water over his head. Cold.
Splashes everyone.
Over his head. 1 gallon is like 1/5 of a square.
Yeah. I know.
It's not going to splash everyone, it's just going to make the floor very damp. He wakes up freezing cold, like shivering, probably. Because I feel this makes sense, having a leader in a different cell. They have no organisation.
Yeah, we get to use my prison too.
Yep, you get to keep the leader in your prison. I'll keep the lackeys in mine.
Wake up.
Nice nap.
He is not manacled, is he?
He is.
I don't know, did Marcus actually manacle him?
I just picked him up and brought him down here.
Well,
So-
Cash would have mangled him.
Mangled.
Yeah, mangled him.
Oh,
Manacled.
She will mangle him too. No. Okay. She would make sure he is tied to the wall. I just think it's too bold not to. He could hurt
Looks
himself.
around. You.
Good day.
Up there.
So looks at you. Waitingly seeming.
so Halleck Amon. Former guard captain with professional soldier experience and a sense of justice, I think.
And a very clashy moustache.
Very. Tell me, Halleck Amon, why did you decide to go to this place?
Where are the others?
They are safe.
I want to see them.
You may not.
All of them.
No, not at this moment. You see, Halleck, you are alive by our graces.
But that is because you need me for something. I will see the others, and I will see them now, or you will get nothing from me.
Zacharias arcs an eyebrow. Is that so, Halleck Amon? You do realize that you are in no position at all to demand anything.
He clenches his jaw.
You will talk, and you will talk now, or you will talk later. And let me assure you that later would be so much more difficult for you.
Tell me at least how the others safe.
They are safe.
You will do them no harm if I help you.
Zacharias nods.
You promise me that.
Zacharias smiles. I promise.
What do you want to know?
Why did you decide to come to this place?
I heard there was treasure. I inherited my father's debt when he died. I have to pay it off. This would be a good way to do so. Do some good, perhaps, as well.
I see. From who did you hear that there were treasure here?
Oh, people around. You're here at the inn. You hear it from people, and then it lit up. It seemed like the best time.
Are you the only party of adventurers that set out for this place?
Yes, I heard from an innkeeper that there were some other ones looking for it, but I thought that if they had found it, they would have come back already.
Indeed. Seems to think... Inherited your father's debt, you say? Interesting.
Yes, I worked as a guard for a long time, but it would have taken me years and years to pay that off. If I'd found the treasure here, I could have done that in merely weeks. I'm tired of being a captain. I wanted to experience the world, and I was foolish.
Zacharias nods. Yes, you were. Quite foolish, actually. He looks to the others. Any more, pertinent questions you would ask this man?
I feel sorry for them.
Good question.
She's not saying that though, it's out of character. Hmm.
I feel for now we will just leave him to contemplate his...
The others know nothing. I have not told them much. If there's any information you want, I have it. The others mean nothing to you. You can let them go.
So
Tell them that I said to never speak of this. And they will obey.
Oh, I am sure they will. So, tell me, then, Halleck, what do you know of this spire?
The Victor came here and destroyed some sort of cult. And they left a lot of treasure. The Victor did not carry it back. He thought it would be cursed or so. But after all these years, there was a curse. It must be gone now. So I thought.
You say there were other adventuring parties in town.
Not in town. They might be coming soon. There's a few ships arriving, but the innkeeper said there had been others who were looking for the horn. They had already left, though. Some quite a few weeks ago.
Lady Cash looks at Zacharias and says in Elven, I don't know if he can Elven it, but doesn't really matter. I think he's talking about us.
Zacharias shrugs, speaks back in Elven. Perhaps. I'm not sure how useful he can be, honestly. He seems to be a do-gooder, and
Alvin. Well, on the right side. Those that left, if there are others that other than us that left for the spire, I think they might have died on the way.
Cash will listen to his thoughts, see if he can understand Elven.
Marcus knows nothing of what you're speaking in Elven.
He seems just confused at the language.
Cash isn't back in Elven. It doesn't seem like he understands Elven. His thoughts are confused.
Understandable. I wonder if he'd understand Infernal.
Well, the fact is that he liked an half-elf woman. You never know. Cash looks at the others. I don't know, for me it seems stupid. A spire lights up and everyone thinks it's a welcome to get a treasure. I would have guessed it would have worked the other way.
It's easier before a light show goes off.
Zacharias shrugs. I don't know. Again, let's say Marcus speaks Infernal, right?
And Dwarven, if anyone knows that.
He
You're
might.
the only one who's Dwarven.
Zacharias will turn to Marcus and speak in Infernal. So, Thornblade, this man, he seems too honorable to be of any use. Unless you have any use for him in your fighting training, or well, if you think that you can perhaps bend him to your will.
Which I highly doubt in Infernal.
I doubt that as well, speaking in Infernal.
Cash will use comprehend language.
So you can understand, but you can't speak it, but you can understand what we're saying.
She can understand, but he can't speak.
I think it would be against our it would not be the best decision to keep him around, I think.
No, I don't think so either. We should perhaps just hand him over to Halthus and have him enjoy doing whatever he does.
I mean,
maybe Halleck's screams can unnerve the good sister a bit.
A bit? Have you ever heard the sound of someone bleed to death before your eyes while conscious?
Actually, Zacharias switches to common and looks back to Halleck. Tell me something of your companions. What are they like?
So, Jurgen and I have always been good friends. I've known him since I was but a boy. He's as a second father to me. The sister I encountered multiple times, she is one of the younger of the Battle Sisters. They will surely be looking for her if they do not hear of her. I've not talked to her much, but she was very kind and offered to aid us. There's a brawler. He seemed capable. We needed so whoever we could get. James was available, and with the promise of a bit of money, he was also happy to join us. And Bianca, well, I told her to stay, but she insisted that she could not stay while I left.
Zacharias nods. I see.
He seems sort of saddened by the talking of his companions as he looks around, seeing none of them.
What can you tell me about the order of Sister Martha Dean?
The battle priests of Mithra. I don't know much about them. If there is a cursed place, or if a corpse is wandering the forest, they sometimes deal with it. Rarely, though. Mostly they keep to themselves. I don't know. I don't know much about it.
Cash looks at him. So she came here not for gold, but to remove the curse.
Came to aid us, keep us safe, perhaps. And of course, earning some name might also have been in it. She's a nice one.
Zachariah switched to Infernal. I see. Well, he shrugs. I don't think he would be much more help to us, honestly. He doesn't seem to know much about anything.
What brought the Archons?
That's true. He switches back to common. About the light creatures that followed you.
Yes, we had not seen that we were followed. She said, I see now, though.
Yeah.
You knew we were coming all along.
Zachariah smiles. Yes. Yes, we did.
Perhaps if you had not had your invisible things following us, we would have had more of a chance.
Zachariah seems a bit concerned about that, switching to Infernal. He doesn't seem to know where the Archons came from.
Seem to think we sent them.
Perhaps they were a servant of the dear sister.
Perhaps, but she must be quite powerful to conjure up something like that.
Especially however many she did, 6, I think.
Kes says in Elven, the sister looked confused when she saw them.
Yeah,
No, that was Zachariah's
That was
mask.
Bianca.
That was my spell, I think.
You sure it wasn't them? Maybe we should ask her.
I do recall some that weren't affected by your spell still looking a little concerned.
I think we should ask her. Maybe she knows something about them.
We perhaps should, yes. It does concern me that these Archons just popped into existence right next to our headquarters like that.
And likely trailing anyone saying to come here.
Very well. He looks at the others. Do you want to ask him anything?
I wouldn't bother asking him to join my forces. He would be a welcome addition, but I think he's a bit too honorable for that. I have nothing.
Seems likely. We could either hand him over to Halfus then, or perhaps Karen would like to stage some sort of spectacle. He likes fighting, after all.
Or I could give him filth fever, and we could set him loose in the forest. Not have to worry about cleanup after.
I think you're not talking Abyss, so she can't say that.
I'll translate for you.
Kestis and Elvin. I think a torture would be very sad for that, Mahakas.
I'll translate that back to Marcus.
I suppose so.
What is his
human
thoughts?
translator.
What is his thoughts now? What is his thoughts?
He's thinking about the others, where they are, and if they're safe.
Especially after he knows what happened to her, I doubt he's gonna help us. He's thinking about them.
Does he know what happened to the dead one?
We haven't told him.
No, he doesn't know.
Good.
Very well. I don't think I have anything more to add. I can talk to Karen and see what he thinks. Other than that, Zachariah shrugs. We should just get rid of him.
By the way, we were being watched by the torture. I hope you guys knew.
Oh, I realized.
Yes,
He can
I
watch
know.
all he likes.
Indeed. Zacharias will walk out and we'll go to Karen's office. Oh.
Marcus will return to training his recruits.
When he gets closer, we'll use prestidigitation to knock on the door and...
Kyron will tell you to enter.
he enters.
Greetings, I was just investigating this peculiar bottle right here. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Zacharias smirks. Yes, I wouldn't want to impose on your investigations, Karen. We have the Halleck, the leader of the party. We captured him. He's in the prison on this level. He shrugs. We're thinking of either giving him to torture or just outright kill him. I thought that since you were robbed of your magnificent duel with him, perhaps you would want him.
He's not really much of a challenge. I do whatever you like with him. I don't really mind.
Very well then, as you say. Glancing at the bottle. And then Oh yes. Also, could you instruct some of your kitchen personnel to deliver food up to the door of the prison on the second level every day?
I can certainly do that as long as you don't mind me giving away your fish. I'm certainly not going to give them any of the good stuff here.
Zacharias looks aghast. Don't give him the fish. Give some gruel or something.
Even the gruel is better than the fish.
That is simply not true.
I disagree.
Are you talking about the toxic fish?